Let's have a conversation about the top 10 credit union personal lines of credit you can quickly get approved for with minimal paperwork. Very important, minimal paperwork.
One in a million, one in a million, one in a million. You know they're coming up to me, cause I'm just the kind of flower that's stinging in the beat, but the rhythms getting higher. Go, 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 go. One in a million, one in a million, one in a million, one in.
Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweaty Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to speak to you about the top 10 credit union personal lines of credit you can quickly get approved for with minimal paperwork. Number 10, we have a NIH FCU. Our score 7.2 over 10. Okay, they don't ask you a lot of paperwork. Okay, this is really good, and we love the fact that with their line of credit, you can actually get approved up to $25,000, and the rates are as low as 7.99%. Okay, but you got to sign up for something. They have something called the NIH FCU Total Care Checking Auto Payment. Okay, you got to have an account, and so with the NIH FCU, you have a 5-year draw period with a 5-year repayment period. It's really important, and so the line of credit just replenishes itself as you pay it back. This is really good, and you have the optional loan guardian debt protection. This is kind of cool if you're just worried that you might have some cash flow disruptions at one point in time, and you're just trying to protect your ability to repay this line of credit. So NIH FCU actually offers what they call a loan guardian debt protection program. Okay, so if you have a question, you have to everything start with calling NIH FCU. Okay, you want to call 1-855-852-4748. So NIH FCU 7.2 over 10. Number 9, we have a Connecta. It's a great player here. We love Connecta, and our score 7.6 over 10. And their line of credit is called Signature Personal Line of Credit, and we love the fact that it's one of the most generous the most generous credit unions that we have in our list today. Okay, check this out. You can get approved for a line of credit that goes from $1,000 to $100,000. Obviously, we have seen we have clients who got a $95,000, but you got to have a strong relationship with Connecta to qualify for such a large amount. Okay, and you can easily transfer funds to checking through Connecta online banking. This is really great. And so their personal line of credit here, you have APR as low as 7.74%. This is really good, and we love the fact that they will actually work with you. They have a stellar customer service. As a matter of fact, you can call them right now if you're interested in their line of credit. 1-888-954-6328. The number is 1-888-954-6328. Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. through 6 p.m. Pacific. Saturday, 6 a.m. through 3 p.m. Pacific. Okay, or you can just stop by a branch and speak to a live representative. Number 8, folks, we have here NASA. NASA FCU, our score 8 over 10. So when you think about NASA, one thing we love about NASA is that their line of credit, or their loans for that matter, they have a soft pull opportunity. So you don't have to risk seeing your FICO score decimated. You can actually do a soft pull and see you can pre-qualify for the line of credit or loan. Okay, so this is really good. So if you need money for an ongoing project or a temporary cash flow, a line of credit from NASA can help you out. Actually, they can approve you up to $30,000. Okay, this is really good. And one thing we love with NASA is that they are actually constantly innovating. So they'll work with you to make sure you get the cash real fast. They have a really fast approval process. Okay, and they don't ask for a lot of documentation. I mean, they'll ask you for, let's say, your pay stubs, and the last 3 years. I mean, your last 3 tax returns, and that should be fine. Okay. Obviously, all of these players into this conversation, they're credit unions, so you gotta be a member, right? You gotta have a relationship with them, either a savings account or a checking account, before actually applying for a line of credit. And so, in addition to lines of credit, we also love the fact that NASA has very strong personal loans. Okay, we have covered this on other shows, but overall, it's a great personal loans, and you is a great personal loan from NASA. And we love the fact that actually you have flexible terms up to 7 years. Boss, think about that. 7 years. We are speaking about 84 months. That's just fantastic. Number 7, we have Unify. Our score 8.3 over 10. So when you think about Unify, they have something called a signature line of credit. Okay, that's great for repairs, cash shortfalls, or any unexpected expenses. Okay, and so their revolving line of credit is fantastic. You have a maximum amount $50,000, minimum amount $1,500. That's a great delta. Great range. Okay, you're looking at 1,500 to or 50,000. That's really wonderful. And Unify, we love Unify because we have actually studied their APRs for the last 7 years, and they have consistently low APRs. Okay, and they also actually ask you for low minimum payments. Okay, you only pay interest on the amount used, and you can take advantage of their 0.25 rate discount. And this is available, of course, if you have a relationship with Unify, and you have what really works. What we have seen is that if you have direct deposit into a Unify account, it helps tremendously. Number 6, we have here Andrews FCU. Our score 8.5 over 10. So when you think about Andrews, I want you to think about actually two things. They have when it comes to a line of credit, they have two programs. They have the Premier line of credit. So here you can actually apply for an amount up to $50,000. Okay, you have access to your money conveniently online, by check, or in person at a branch. This is pretty good. And they have the Overdraft line of credit. Okay, so here you have an overdraft line of credit that's actually linked to your checking account, to your Andrews checking account, just in case you overspend. Okay, and the cool thing about Andrews overdraft line of credit is that it's a consequential amount. You can actually get approved for up to $10,000. Okay, because a lot of players, a lot of lenders, a lot of banks, a lot of credit unions, when it comes to overdraft lines of credit, based on what we have seen, they actually capped their maximum amount. They capped you at 3,000 or 5,000. But hey, listen, Andrews is willing to go above that. Okay, so this is really good. And one thing I want to say here is that you have to understand that if you go with the overdraft line of credit, money will be transferred to your account to cover checks, debit card purchases, and electronic payments. Number 5, folks, we have here Service Credit Union. Our score 8.6 over 10. This is a credit union that we have our team members have been part of for the last 30 years. Okay, so Service is a great institution. Okay, and when we talk about their line of credit, it really depends on your relationship with them. They are pretty flexible. We have seen people get approved for lines of credit up to $75,000. Okay, so the range here goes from $1,000 to $50,000, but you can get approved for more. That's my point. Okay, and what we love with Service is that they have great customer service. They will work with you. Okay, they will see your situation, and they will actually customize their line of credit just for you. So that level of customization is fantastic. We love it. Okay, and it's pretty great. And one thing I want to say here is that you also have to think about the fact that this service is constantly changing. They're constantly changing. They're constantly doing things that really matter. And what we love is that they are able to actually work with you. One thing I want to say about Service is that they are also able to revise the line of credit you get approved for. So everything is possible. That's the bottom line. With Service, everything is possible. Number 4, we have Teachers. Our score 8.9 over 10. So when you think about Teachers, you have to think about a line of credit that goes all the way to $25,000 that has minimal paperwork. This is really good, okay? And you are able to get your funds available within 24 hours after approval, okay? One thing that Teachers is pretty good at is they actually work with you during the application process. So they're not like that, we just design a website and you just go on there and just apply whatever. We don't care. No. Teachers is very, they're really close to you. If you have any questions you want to ask, okay, they can actually help you. They can guide you through the process, okay? And once you're approved, you can access your line of credit via your checking accounts. Also withdrawals up to $500 per day from your available balance. Okay, you can do this through your teacher's through a teacher's ATM. Okay, but one thing I want to say here when it comes to teachers is that just make sure you don't ghost them. If they're asking you questions, if they are asking for additional documents, if they're asking for extra paperwork, please do not ghost them. You want to answer as soon as possible. Very important. Number 3, we have Credit Human. Our score 9.2 over 10. So when you think about Credit Human, you want to think about it. This is a credit union that is really run like a bank. So because they are their services are very efficient, they have great customer service. They'll work with you. Okay, and so if you have a line of credit from Credit Human, you can borrow anytime up to your pre-approved limit. You have low monthly payments. Overdraft protection option is available, and you have access. You can access credit by debit card, online banking, phone, or by writing a check. Okay, so this is really good. So you also you have to be, of course, a Credit Human member. Okay, and it's important to understand that this institution is really great in terms of making sure that you have the right resources to actually make your line of credit experience fantastic. They also offer personal loans, though. They also offer they offer in general a constellation of credit products. And what we love again with Credit Human is that they are run as a bank. That means that they are totally making sure that their customer service is stellar, okay, that their products and services are stellar, are on point. They really do fill a gap in the industry. So this is really good. So Credit Human, 9.2 over 10. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another section of the Awesome Sweaty Kiwi Show. We are still having a conversation today about the top 10 credit unions, okay? Personal lines of credit you can quickly get approved for with minimal paperwork. Number 2, we have First Tech. Our score 9.5 over 10. So when you think about First Tech, I want you to think about maximum line amount of $25,000. Okay, you can use the cash for nearly everything. You can use the cash to pay for emergencies like medical bills or home repairs. You can use the cash for, let's say, business purposes. That's totally fine. Okay, and what we love with the First Tech is that they are willing. They'll work with you. They'll definitely work with you. Their APR is kind of high though, because their lowest APR starts at 10.50%. So that's a pretty high. But again, if you have a relationship with them, you will be able to negotiate a lower rate. Just talk to the right person, okay? And so you can reap the benefits from a relationship with First Tech, because you have a quick and easy loan application process. You have online loan application, digital document delivery, fast loan decision, okay? And that's really good. I mean, we love the fact that they have introduced recently their mobile app, so everything happens faster on their mobile app. So this is really great. Number 1, the best of the best in our view, the best of the best when it comes to credit union, personal lines of credit. You can quickly get approved for with minimal paperwork. You have here Connexus. Okay, Connexus, our score at 9.9 over 10. So this is really good. So when you think about Connexus, you are thinking about a constellation of products. Okay, so they have a flex line amount. So they have flex line of credit that has loan amounts that go from $3,000 to $15,000, and they have the Flex Plus line of credit, and the amounts here range from $5,000 to $25,000. Those are the published ranges, okay? But we have first-hand experience from folks who have actually been approved for lines of credit all the way to $75,000. Okay, but you got to have the right relationship with Connexus, though. I mean, and I'm not just talking about 1 year relationship, 5 years relationship. If you want to get the highest loan amounts, okay. And if you want to get, let's say, you want to get a line of credit from Connexus, you just have to put your desired loan amounts. By the way, you can apply online, over the phone, or at any branch location. You have to put your desired loan amounts, your personal information. I'm talking about social, date of birth, and whatnot. Your contact information and your financial information. Okay, that's what it is. If you have made it so far, I want to give you a bonus, and I want to share 2 extra credit unions with you that actually are good when it comes to large approval, fast approval, okay, minimum paperwork. So you have a Genesis. Our score is 7/10. So Genesis, you have a maximum line amount of $10,000. The APR is 9.49%. Okay, and what we love about Genesis is that they actually approve you really fast. And what we love is you can actually start with a personal line of credit and later convert it into a personal loan, and vice versa. So that flexibility is really cool. We love that because people apply for a personal line of credit when they were in a specific financial situation. But if things change down the road, you can actually change also the loan or whatever you have. So this is really good, and you can use actually the line of credit for a lot of things: for home improvement, medical, surgery and dental, baby and adoption, okay, wedding and vacation. I mean, it's totally up to you. And then for unexpected expenses and emergency loans, okay. If you have a question, please call the financial services representative at 1-800-521-8440, extension 5. Okay, the number once again is 1-800-521-8440. Really important to know that. And I want to talk to you also about BECU. So that's the Boeing Employees Credit Union. Our score is 6.8/10. And here, for the line of credit, you actually have a flexibility. Okay, you have to talk to a representative. You have to explain your needs to them, and based on the conversation, they'll actually tell you what is possible. Okay, this is really important, and I just want to say that with BECU, what we love about BECU is that they're constantly innovating. Okay, and they'll work with you to make sure that you have the proper financing that you need. Okay, and what we love also is that the APR is kind of decent. You're looking at 10%. That's the lowest range. Okay, I mean, anything double digit is kind of high, but in this particular case, you want to have a good lender. Okay, and one thing I want to say also is that you can be approved for up to $50,000. We have seen people who got approved for $80,000. But again, those folks have a strong relationship with BECU, so that's what it is. Okay, and you can get a personal line of credit, an overdraft line of credit. Also, it's totally up to you. Let me give you an overview here, folks. We are talking about a personal line of credit from a credit union, right? And there are a few things you need to know about. I mean, when we think about a personal line of credit, well, what are we talking about for real? Because a lot of folks just throw words, they have no idea what they're talking about. What is a personal line of credit? So with a personal line of credit, you can access your available balance of funds available at, let's say, at any time during the draw period up to your preset limit. You can draw from the funds over time, right, as you need them. Any repaid funds during your draw period replenishes your available balance, assuming you abide by the lender's terms. Very important. So what are the pros and cons of a personal line of credit? Here are the pros. You have flexible access to funds. You can pay interest only on what you use. This is really good. You have reusable cash flow, and you have the ability to strategically combine and pay off high interest debt. Okay. Here are the cons. You may have potentially high interest rates. Okay, you have additional fees in some cases, and you may be difficult. The whole thing may be difficult to obtain. But this is why I was just telling you. You want to start by having a relationship with a specific credit union or bank, for that matter, that you want to get the line of credit. Okay, and so you can have unsecured lines of credit. In other words, you don't have to put up collateral, okay? Or you can have secure lines of credit. It's totally up to you. But one thing for sure, when you have a secure line of credit, the interest rate is lower, right? Because you're able to mitigate risk, the default risk for the lender. If something happens, they just come and just repo the whatever asset you have, whatever asset you have pledged, okay? And so how interest charged on a personal line of credit, you might ask, well, it really depends on a constellation of things. Your FICO score, for instance, the banks or the credit unions operating charges, okay, and the length, the maturity. So if you're asking for, let's say, a line of credit with a draw period of 10 years, for example, you're not getting the same APR as if your draw period was 3 years or 2 years, right? That really matters, and people really have to pay attention to that because, especially if you are applying with a credit union, you want to make sure that you get the best rates possible. And again, the best rates possible start with having a clear idea of how long you need the line of credit. I'm speaking here strictly about the draw period because the repayment period can come afterwards, but by then you would have made some money. Okay, it should be fine. And let me give you a few pro tips, boss. If you're trying to qualify for a personal line of credit through a credit union, make sure that you have the right paperwork. Okay, at a minimum, you want to have your bank statements and your tax returns at a minimum. And if you want to have a pay stub, you want to have a W-2, you want to have a 1099. If you're self-employed, you're going to have to provide 1099s. So that's really important to understand. And when we talk about approval, we're speaking also indirectly about when you will receive the money. Well, generally, based on the resources that we have made, we have done on this subject, we are seeing that with a line of credit from a credit union, you can expect 2 to 3 business days, and that's actually from applying for the line of credit to the disbursement of funds. So 3 days, 72 hours. That's pretty manageable. Okay, and one thing you need to understand here is that you have to pay the money back during the repayment period, not during the draw period. Okay, and so this is really good. And so if you have to pay back the amount, you can either do it via their websites. Okay, you can do it also via their mobile app, the specific lender that you have chosen. So this is really good. So my point to you is, in general, you have to think about whether or not a personal line of credit is right for you. Okay, remember, a personal line of credit is not for everyone. So you have to choose wisely. Okay, are you in a financial situation that allows you to borrow in the first place? Because a line of credit is also a borrowing act. It is an act of borrowing. Okay, so if you are in a situation where you want to lower your debts, then you have to ask yourself, can I get the money I need through another financing product instead of a line of credit? So those are questions that only you can answer, right, depending on your situation. And one thing I also want to say here is that, please, again, I've said this before, but I really want to emphasize this. Please build a relationship with the credit union from which you want to get a line of credit. You want to do this way before you apply for a line of credit. Okay, I mean, it's not your FICO score is important, yes. Your financial situation is important, yes. But so is your relationship to the credit union that you have chosen. Very important. Before I do a recap, please check out our loan evaluation approach. We have a strong methodology on this show when it comes to evaluating, categorizing, and listing loans and lines of credit. Check this out. All right, so let me quickly recap today's conversation. The top 10 credit union personal lines of credit you can quickly get approved for with minimal paperwork. Number 1, we have Connexus. Our score at 9.9 over 10. Number 2, we have a First Tech, 9.5 over 10. Number 3, Credit Human, 9.2 over 10. Number 4, Teachers, 8.9 over 10. Number 5, Service, 8.6 over 10. Number 6, we have Andrews FCU, 8.5 over 10. Number 7, Unify, 8.3 over 10. Number 8, we have NASA, 8 over 10. Number 9, Connecta, 7.6 over 10. And number 10, we have NIH FCU, 7.2 over 10. And in the bonus category, we have Genesis, 7 over 10. And we also have here PECU, 6.8 over 10. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.